Hi guys, Asa here, back with another video. So after playing in a survival mode in an SMP server, this SMP server is literally on a MMORPG server. So basically the developers are developing the MMORPG stuff while they are just keeping this SMP so players can still, play the game and enjoy and explore the normal vanilla game that is Hytale. But yeah, I have recently just, reached to a certain point where I think, maybe it's already close to end game. And if I were to go further, I would feel like, I've explored everything. So instead of actually, completing the rest of the game, I'll just put it aside at the moment and instead I'm going to focus on, maybe exploring the side of asset creation and building side of things in Hytale, because I just recently realized how easy it is to mod in Hytale in comparison to a lot of other games. So might as well just try it out, right? So, maybe in the future I might present some stuff here and there about this game that is my own creation, but it will probably take a little bit of time. So by then, I guess if you are interested in it, please stay tuned, I suppose. So what do I feel about Hytale at the moment? The game is definitely work in progress, but I'll be real here, right? Looking at how the sentiment of most people who are playing Hytale has been so far, I'm really glad that Hytale has been taking off in a positive note for the longest time now, because people have been waiting for this game for like, I don't know how long, 7 or 8 years now on. And it's pretty good that it finally had we finally have a game that we anticipated for so long that is actually out, actually in a playable state. Unlike a lot of like other games where, it has been cancelled by huge corporations in the past, this game is actually able to survive a lot of things and somehow got purchased back by the original founder. I'm really glad that their team is actually now actively working on developing this game as well continuously. Only in less than a week, we actually have gotten like 2 updates that has not just contents and QOLs, but also fixes a lot of those game-breaking issues that we face on day one. And not to mention, eventually they're going to add even more stuff. And I can't wait to see it, because from the sneak peeks I actually saw, it's actually pretty cool that they have a lot of things that's coming up and planned. And I'm going to bet that there's going to be even more creatures, even more discovery, even more POIs being developed in the background. And unfortunately, because of that, there are certain mods that previously are just from other players are going to be incorporated into the game. And so, if you're playing Hytale, I suggest you guys do not rush the game, because the game is still in progress in terms of like, it's probably still in this alpha state where the developers are still figuring out what kind of base content they are going to add in the vanilla version of the game. And well, they are still not done yet. That means there will be instability in terms of like the mods going into newer versions, unless the developers are constantly actively developing the mod. There will be mods that will be breaking whenever there's new versions, and that is probably the only negative point that I think worth mentioning. The other negatives with Hytale at the moment is just really minor. If you are playing in a single player world, a lot of these issues are not going to appear. The issue of like resources not respawning, or just the issues of finding certain ores or finding certain resources are just so hard in comparison to like having its own solo world. That is another topic of another day, I suppose, because in a normal single player world, it's a non-issue totally. But in a server where there's a lot of people trying to rush the content, it would eventually become something that might be a pain point for the game for large servers, especially because, looking at how little the ores are in each caves and stuff like that, I think if there is a server that existed out there that has, like, I don't know, 1,000 players, 100 players even, or just more than 100 players, maybe they will be having a bad time if they are trying to collect resources in the current world generation at the moment. So I hope that, maybe the Hypixel Studio team will be able to fix this in the future. Or I guess we can maybe fix that with mods that allow respawning of chunks or respawning of resources, or just having loot chests that has instance drops or something like that, so that everybody have their own, resources that they can look forward to gaining or earning, instead of like waiting or finding or seeking even further stretches of the map instead of like near the base. At the moment, the game is fine in terms of like just a solo experience. It's where multiplayer is actually part of the game, then it suddenly just rears its ugly head. But for the most part, I enjoy the game. It's still playable for me even in 250 milliseconds of ping, or even 300 sometimes, which is insane. Of course, the delay is noticeable, of course, but it's not really that bad that I cannot really kill monsters. I think if anybody is like playing this game on at least like 300 ping or around like 300 ping or below, I think it should be fine, for the most part. Unless you are like me and playing from from the other side of the world, because the server is literally at the far side of the earth. So that would always going to be a latency or a lag between those servers. Other than that, Hytale is just amazing, and I think if you are still considering or thinking about if this game is worth it or not, I have to tell you this honestly, is that you can either wait until the game is in a much better state with more content, or if you are literally waiting for the game for like longest time ever, I would then suggest you to maybe, support the developers by just buying the basic pack. Is it a stable early access game at the moment? Yes. If you are not believing me, you can just watch other players playing the game as well, and you'll probably be able to gauge if you like this game or not. Because firstly, this game is more akin to Valheim and Terraria than Minecraft. So if you are coming into the game expecting that this is another Minecraft game, well, I mean, in some aspects, sure, the Minecraft stuff is probably like 20% similarity. That's it, for the most part. The rest of the game is just completely different. It's just the passionate developers from the Hypixel servers suddenly just decided to make a game of their own because they know there's a lot of limitations on the Minecraft engine. Hence why they wanted to create a Hytale, where this game allows the hands-on modding and allows the accessibility of modding for much more people or much more players to create stuff that they love in the game. And I believe this game is gonna be on PC only at the moment. It's playable on Linux because, Steam Deck is able to play the game. So that's a good news as well, because, rarely we have any early access games that is able to run on Linux especially. So yeah, rejoice. If you have a Steam Deck, if you've been using Linux distros, you can definitely still play this game as well. So yeah, go ahead. I would like to see how Hytale would develop in the future for their contents and the possibilities of actually having large scale MMORPG servers that I'm anticipating in the current server that I'm playing in. And if you have interested in this server, I'm going to link the server that I'm playing on in the description below, or you can just go into this link that is being showing up on the screen here. Oh yeah, by the way, if you like my content, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll create more content that is related to this game, of course, in the future. And I'll see you guys next time. Sayonara.